Hello, folks. Well, since I've been told by members of my own club even to fly something new for a change instead of all those old vintage nitro helicopters I like to fly, since they are challenging. So I looked at all my helicopters and I decided the one that flies the best actually is my T-Rex 550. So I thought I would go a little bit smaller, and that was the Align T-Rex Dominator 470L. So I went ahead and asked for the combo kit, which comes with the motor and the servos and the speed controller, so that was all good. It also came with the German-made Micro Beast Plus gyro system. And my wife said she would never buy me another airplane for Christmas again after we all know what happened last year, so I figured I'd ask for a calm, easy, nice flying helicopter instead. So here you're seeing the pictures of the assembly. Only two parts were partially assembled, the rotor head and the tail rotor, but I gotta say, when I started putting it together, I found the ball links that looked like they were tight and other screws not tight. So realizing that, I knew I had to really check everything, put thread lock on them, and put them back together. Well, then setting up the Beast X gyro took quite some time, a lot of reading, and since I'm not comfortable with the way the tail rotor seems to be working here statically, I've decided to remake another helicopter test stand. But a little different one than I built many years ago, and of course that one was destroyed in a fire. I already had a base I used for my RC tethered airplanes, so this is going to be great to use for the base and I won't have to make that. I'll put a link in the description box for the original build video for the early one. So relax and enjoy. Of course I read the BeastX manual, but I don't know. All right, got it all done. Oh, wait a minute, there's one more thing. I still need to put on my trademark skid floats. They keep the plastic skids from getting scraped up. Plus for me at 74, it's a great visual aid when I'm flying. Can you guess what I made them out of? Very strong, and they keep the helicopter tail rotor off the grass where I usually fly. My T-Rex 550 is there on the left, and now it's on the right, and you can see the size difference. There's quite a big difference in size between 470 and 550. Here's a glimpse of my Blade 400 on my original training stand and a little bit of operation, and you see how it works. I'm going to modify this to be a little bit different for my new one because I'm going to make it a little more articulated so I can spin it up and see what's going on with the tail rotor. Just weighting it down on the ground or anything. So here we go. Let's get this thing going. Well, first I have to build one. The base is two 3/4 inch ply boards screwed together with two 4x4 feet underside on each corner. First I gooped and screwed the pole mounting flange to the ply. Well, then I screwed the 3/4 inch by 24 inch pole to the flange and dropped in 2 springs for shock absorbers. I used 2 bungee cords attached to the pole with the hose clamp, and the other ends at the top are connected to the 5/8 inch wood dowel or the plunger with a smaller hose clamp. At the top of the dowel I drilled it out and then epoxied in the lower ball with the locking nut. I then clamped it with hose clamps to make sure it wouldn't come out. Next I made a platform for the heli to sit on from 1/8 inch plywood and mounted the other ball with locking clamp to it. Well, since I wanted it more articulated, these chrome camera mounts screw into the ball mounts and will work perfect. Since I couldn't find a pipe locally with this microphone stand thread, I decided to use a 1/2 inch dowel rod instead. I epoxied on the end caps, fiberglassed the entire rod to get max strength, then drilled holes in the end caps and added a cotter key in each. This 2-pole setup allows me to lock it solid or to loosen it so it articulates about 5 inches in any direction while keeping the heli flat. Hovering is right in the center and what to trim for or to practice to do. Okay, by using these adjusting screws here, I've tightened them up so this is solid now. So I can mount this, and when I turn it on, I can set the gyros. So, see, this is already sitting there nice and steady so I can get the rubber bands on it. And I'm just going to wrap them around. Okay, let's try it. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and fire up the battery on here. Okay, so you can see what this beast does, which is right here. When I plug this in, I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. Now while it's leveling, Okay, the LED is blue. I'm going to go ahead and spin it up on the stand. That's full heading lock for this test. I can change from full heading lock to the soft heading lock by switch D on my transmitter. Everything's working there. First thing I want to do before I loosen this all up and fly it around is check the blade tracking and see how it spins. So let's go ahead and spin it up, see what happens. Okay, well, the ailerons were backwards, so I reversed them now, and we're all good. Just trimming it here for a hover. That can's off right there. Looks pretty good. Blades are tracking perfect. As you can see, the tail gain needs turned down just a little bit. This is in the heading lock mode. Now, we gotta wait for some good weather, and we'll go see this thing flies.